In our editorial today, we continue to look at the in-depth analysis from Deacon Tasang Wilfred, a message to Ambazonians, focused on exposing the Axis of Treachery, denunciation of the irregular Restoration Council impeachment, and the way forward. Continuing from the problem, the genesis, and the root, Deacon Tasang's analysis gets even more interesting as tonight we look at allegiance instead of sympathy. While it is normal to have a weakness and sympathy for the abducted and incarcerated Ambazonian leaders, it is revolutionary suicide to owe allegiance to leaders, to people who want to lead from the dungeon of the enemy. It is the more suicidal scene that even to this point, the 2018 January 5th abduction is yet shrouded with ghostly shadows and the act of treason committed by President Ayub Tabe from prison. As a long-standing member and leader of the SCNC, Elvis Cometa should know better that he cannot have the benefit of doubt on grounds of political naivety. Chairman Cometa might have exercised his democratic right in opposing the impeachment of Ayub Tabe, but his refusal to read or announce the verdict was an act of betrayal of the institution which he leads. By this one act, Elvis Cometa showed that he was going to be a dictator, imposing his will on the House and a problem to the struggle. The Restoration Council ROC should at the least have deposed him as its leader at this point. Now, constitutional ambushment, the 2019 swearing-in ceremony of President Sako and his vice provided another opportunity for Elvis Cometa to set the stage for the removal of the president. My investigations have proven that the idea of a 2-year term of office emanated from the RC chair. Again, he induced the House into error by causing them to assault the interim constitution without an amendment announcing a 2-year term limitation after the president had been sworn in. Feeling that his coup would not succeed, Chairman Cometa toured the US in 2020, campaigning with some elders and key personalities to support his election project at the end of his unconstitutional 2 years mandate limitation. His silence on Chris Anu's March 2021 call for interim government dissolution was not only complacent, it was an active support for a call to ruin the struggle. This is not the only instance that the RC chair and the RC should have spoken up, but he observed a vicious, benevolent silence. AGOV-C IPOB Alliance, where Cometa could not speak as RC chair, he could at least speak as SCNC North America chair. On 2 occasions, Cometa observed treacherous silence. It was expected that all voices would rise up in condemnation of Ayaba's AGOV-C alliance with Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB, which alliance is not only strategically foolish, it brought untold hardship against our people in Nigeria, putting many lives in danger and cutting off many strategic routes. Now, the CDN Toronto retreat, Cometa's silence and the SCNC's participation at the CDN Toronto retreat, which retreats the interim government opposed with all vehemence, put Elvis Cometa's SCNC leadership of the Restoration Council RC to question. Why? The agenda of the Toronto retreat was well known ahead of time, as well as the participants. How can the chairman of the Restoration Council be comfortable with his movement taking part in a retreat to draw up negotiation strategies with people who are well known to be opposed to the Ambazonian statehood quest, such as Felix Abobala, Esther Onam, etc.? How could the RC and SCNC North American chair have kept quiet after Maggie Kilo's communication in which she stated that the retreat was seeking a win-win outcome between La Republique du Cameroon and Ambazonia? Deacon Tasang puts it to Ambazonians that both the participation of the SCNC and Cometa's silence on this retreat were acts of treason, both aligning with his present decision to collapse the struggle through the disintegration of the interim government. Now it gets even more interesting, but wait until our next editorial and we'll bring to you the aspect of Deacon Tasang's message to Ambazonians that talks about meeting with hostile movements, cuffing the president, dodging and avoiding dialogue. That's something peculiar with La Republic to Cameroon. Well, in our next editorial, we'll see from Patasang's perspective more on the irregularities of the RC and hopefully the way forward. But for now, we've come to the end of this piece to Ambazonians from Patasang Wilfred and also the end of our editorial for tonight. If you want more of such enlightenment, kindly visit our website at www.abcambatv.com for more. Subscribe, become a club member and a part of this winning strategy. Find out payment details on your screen. I am Star Smart reporting for Undaunted ABC Amba TV.